Yesterday, there was a lot going on. First of all, it was Mom's birthday. Okay,
Yes.
we went out for fish dinner. Okay, and then after, everyone had banana cream pie. But then after, there came out a cake with a candle. Don't you love banana cream pie? So good.
I do.
Okay, and then a cake came out with a candle. And then, of course, my sister had to order baklava, so I took a bite of that too.
Ooh, baklava.
I ate healthy with the fish, and I just lost it all at the dessert.
Basically.
The intention was there.
The intention was there. Then,
Was it?
I just look at the news for a second, and I see my New York Giants winning. The Giants lost. They were up by 11 points with 5 minutes to go, and they blew it.
Blew it.
Blew it.
That was very unfortunate for y'all.
Yeah. And then I went home and I watched the
who's your
debate,
team?
not live. I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact. I rewatched it after it was live. And this is what we discovered from the debate.
All right.
Did you watch?
I did watch it. That's what I was telling Nesquik while you were fumbling.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
I watched it with my best friend. You know, this is something that I told you, like, I've been really getting my friends together and kind of forcing them, you know, to watch it, not only read about it and like watch the clips, like snippets of it. I want them to sit in and watch it real time. So we all watched it. We discussed it. Also did it with my family. So I'm ready to talk
You know
about
what?
it.
It's actually very interesting. This is the first year that I know that people were having like watch parties for the debate. Like I
Right.
know lots of people who got together and said, we're going to stay home and watch the debate. Maybe because of coronavirus, people aren't going out as much anymore. I don't know. But there was a lot of watch parties. I spoke to at least 3 different people who were hosting watch parties last night. Now you're the 4th person that I've heard that from.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important. We need to.
The debate started with the pandemic. Trump argued the situation could be a lot worse and that the virus was going to go away. He is pushing for schools to reopen. He said the risk of transmission to teachers is very low, while Biden warned that the country is entering a very dark winter and reminded Americans that maybe another 200,000 people may possibly die of coronavirus in the next few months. When discussing the COVID-19 pandemic and the response to it, the president said that our hometown, New York City, is a ghost town. He was criticizing the restaurants and other businesses that have closed as a result of the pandemic. Andrew Cuomo, who is the governor of New York, he appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he made a very valid point. He said that New York has a lower infection rate than the White House. Very true. And one of Governor Cuomo's top aides, Melissa DeRosa, tweeted, New York has the 3rd lowest positivity rate in the entire country, and we're the most dense city in the entire country.
And
now,
we started off like one of the top ones.
Yes.
Everybody was scared about New York.
Yeah. Now, if Trump had done a European travel ban in January on top of the China ban, perhaps we would have had coronavirus under control. Perhaps if he was leading people to wear masks, perhaps we would have it also under control. Now, comedian and TV host Samantha Bee tweeted, he thinks New York is a ghost town because every time he's here, all he hears is boo. Boo. Now, Trump also tried to find traction with the unsubstantiated and convoluted claims about Biden's son, Hunter Biden, which have failed to manifest into the October surprise that Trump supporters had hoped for. Trump says he is terminating Obamacare, which is the Affordable Care Act. He's hoping the Supreme Court will call it unconstitutional. Yet Biden said if that happens, 20 million people would lose their coverage, and anybody who wants to buy health care with a pre-existing condition will not be able to get it. Biden said health care is a right, not a privilege, and he introduced a new term, Vanessa, called Biden care.
I care.
Biden care. I don't know what Biden care is, but it's his new
Or what it will
term.
entail.
So what'd you think of all of this, Vanessa?
I actually didn't get to catch the debate live, but I was discussing it with some family here, and at least it sounded like it was much more civil than,
Than it was best.
the crazy, the last time.
I think the moderator did a really good job with controlling that as well. But
I have to watch it back.
Yeah, of course, with them muting the mics, that helped a lot as well.
Yeah.
but I thought that she did really well as well.
Yeah, Kristen Welker did a great job, much better than the first guy, Chris Wallace, who couldn't control anybody. Now, as far as immigration is concerned, Joe Biden said this. He said within 100 days of his presidency, he is going to introduce a bill for amnesty for the 11 million plus people who are here out of status in America, including all DACA recipients. Now, what does that mean, amnesty? Who would qualify? Is it 11 million? Is it 5 million? Is it 50 million? We don't know. But we do know it will be a lot better than if Trump is the president of the United States. Now, Trump said as far as the separation of families at the border, there's 545 children in custody in the United States. They can't find their parents. He said they're trying very hard to find the parents. And that these children are very well taken care of. You are not well taken care of if you are a child who gets separated from your parent. It's a trauma you never will recover from ever in your entire life. Getting stripped from your parent and living in a jail, no matter how well they're taken care of. And trust me, they are not at the Four Seasons. They're not even at the Marriott. They're not even in the Motel 6.
Right.
Okay?
First of all,
they're in the Cockroach Hotel.
When he kept on getting asked this question, like he just kept on just diverting and he would never really answer the actual question. And then he kind of said something to the fact where these kids are being brought in by coyotes and lions, like their parents are thugs and rapists.
No. These are families who are escaping violence. We've had activist after activist who is helping these people. We've witnessed it on Bradshaw Live firsthand who most of these people are. They are people who live in very violent areas and are escaping for their lives with their family and coming to the border and ending up in tent camps and having their families separated. It's like leaving a war zone and running into a fire. That is what they are doing.
Brad, with your experience, how do you feel about Biden's take on immigration, and will, that be able to be something that he'll
Biden's take on immigration is that it is a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace what is happening to the children and the families on the border. It is a violation of human rights to not allow them to enter the United States as long as they are not violent, and allow them to go to a hearing and leave them on the other side of a fence in a tent waiting to be granted asylum for maybe 1, 2, 3 years, living in a tent. That's not any way welcoming, humanitarian. And it's a violation of decent human rights. And if it's not, it's certainly a violation of decency and humanity, and certainly not what America stands for. As far as the amnesty, if Biden is going to pass an amnesty, the only way immigration amnesty would ever pass is if Biden wins, the House remains Democratic, and the Senate becomes overwhelmingly Democratic, which I think is unlikely but possible. Even if the Senate's 51 Democrat, 49 Republican, there will be Democrats from conservative areas that may not want to vote for amnesty. Now, so you would have to have an overwhelming Democratic majority to just get an amnesty passed in 100 days. However, I could see a situation where there is an amnesty that is passed in conjunction with a much larger bill reforming immigration and giving some things to Republicans and other conservatives to make an amnesty more palatable or amenable in terms of one grand bargain. We'll have to see what the makeup of the Senate and the House is before we start jumping up and down saying, okay, amnesty's around the corner.
Yeah, it's just a lot of damage done.
The last time an amnesty passed, a general amnesty passed, I mean, they had Liberian amnesty, they've had amnesty for targeted niche groups. But the last time a general amnesty passed, I was in high school. It was 1986. Oh, wow. So we have lived almost closing in on 35, 40 years, 2 generations of our life with no amnesty. And we have a very divided country. It's nice to say, well, I'm going to deliver an amnesty package. The Democrats, the Senate would have to be 60% Democratic. The House would have to remain Democratic for an amnesty to pass as easily as Biden said it would. Now, that doesn't mean...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that doesn't mean an amnesty won't pass. It'll just be part of a grander package where you may get an amnesty, but you may get more restrictive immigration somewhere else. You know, because you got to have a grand bargain and
nice.
give it. Yes, exactly. As part of the debate, there was a big debate about Black Lives Matter. You know, as the debate turned to a discussion of the Black Lives Matter movement, Biden jabbed Trump for his earlier boast that no president since Abraham Lincoln has helped black people more than he has. Biden said, Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire, every single one. Trump, in response, touted his record on criminal justice reform and said he's the least racist person in the room, which drew a strong reaction on social media. Ito Isando tweeted, here's a pro tip. Anyone that says they're the least racist person in the room is, in fact, the most racist person in the room. Yara Shahidi tweeted, also, can we take a second to acknowledge that Trump said to Kristen Welker, a black woman, that he's the least racist person in the room? And Anna Navarro tweeted, Donald Trump just told a woman of color, who he repeatedly attacked, that he is the least racist person in the room. And she is such a consummate professional, she didn't even laugh. I'm sure Yo-Yo has something to say.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who says that, just like they said, is the most racist person. It's just like whoever smelt it, dealt it. Like that's guilt right there. And that still shows that you're racist. It was ridiculous. The fact that he said, because when he said that, he said, you know, the first time I heard about Black Lives Matter, all I heard was them chanting pigs in a blanket. And I was like, whoa, this is horrible. You shouldn't be saying this. So he was like, what I thought about with Black Lives Matter was just a bunch of black people that were angry and wanted to hurt police officers. So even with him saying that, knowing that that is not the history of Black Lives Matter, that is not how it started, and that's not why it started. Him saying that just keeps on building this divide.
Just adding on, he has no awareness. He has no awareness for the community, for the Black Lives Matter, for people that are standing for this cause, and it's so ignorant.
You know what, Yo-Yo? It is so obvious what he said is deranged, a lie, psychopathic. It's so obvious he's a racist. I just got to agree with you. You know, we can sit here and agree with each other for the next 30 minutes, but everything he said, I agree. Dad's genius Zoom Halloween costume for his daughter is really scary good. This has been the year of Zoom fatigue, okay? I mean, you guys know that. You're on Zoom, basically Zoom right now, right? But one dad had a genius idea for a Halloween costume tribute to video meetings. Greg Dietzenbach, a 42-year-old creative director for the creative design agency in Iowa, created a Zoom costume for his 12-year-old daughter, Ada. The homemade costume depicts a virtual meeting with 9 people and monsters on the call. But here's the catch. 8 of the Zoom attendees are actually Dietzenbach's daughter. The center square, which is the hole for her head, shows her wearing the costume in real time, but the really Halloween-y characters, the Invisible Man, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolf Man, Dracula, they're all her as well. You'll notice that top middle Zoom square labeled Next Victim is an Ada. That's the space where anyone admiring the impressive Zoom costumes will see an image of themselves.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
So I don't understand, how is she wearing this?
So cute.
Where she's not wearing this. I'm not fully getting it.
I think it's probably something she'll hold, though.
Yeah?
Like a cardboard thing.
Like a cardboard thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Like behind it.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
What is the best Halloween costume you've ever worn, Vanessa Nesquik Contreras?
I was a unicorn once. And I was like a really good unicorn. There was that.
I think mine was.
I'm one of those Halloween people. I like pretty things when it comes to Halloween. I've never loved how close my birthday is to Halloween. I'm like a glam person, and then there's mummies, and there's zombies, and
That's
there's
not
things.
you.
And
You're not zombies. You're not mummies.
I'm pink.
Correct. You are all glam, right?
Me too.
Yeah.
All glam. There's been another pandemic fallout. Just Born Quality Confections, the company that produces Peeps, says its holiday-themed marshmallow treats will not be in Halloween candy baskets this year. Those are my favorite. I love those marshmallow things. Yeah. Now, they're not even going to be in stores for Christmas. Halloween Peeps, which are shaped like pumpkins, Ghosts and Monsters, and Christmas Peeps, they're not going to return until 2021. The company will skip Valentine's Day as well. The Bethlehem, Pennsylvania-based company in April temporarily suspended the production of all its candy. That's upsetting. Why is that Fry news? That's Fry Boo news.
Yeah.
The Peeps. I've never liked those Peeps.
A young couple who was recently reported in the New York Post. Okay, a young couple went out for dinner at a very fancy restaurant in Soho. You know Soho, right, guys? Okay, and they went to a very fancy French restaurant by the name of Balthazar. Have you ever been there?
That looks very familiar.
Yes, it's right on. It's on Prince and Crosby. Like, it's like when you go. Jill whispered.
I've never been, but I've seen that. For sure.
Jill whispered in my ear, one of my favorites.
Ooh.
One of my favorites. She's getting me hungry now. So when you leave our office, you walk up about 15 minutes. You get to Prince Street. You make a right, and it's 1 block away. A fancy, French bistro. So a young couple, they went to dine there this past week or so. And for those who don't know, Balthazar, it's a Big Apple iconic restaurant. It's been around forever. And they ordered a bottle of $18 Pinot Noir, the cheapest wine on the menu. But the waiter, he screwed up. And he opened up a bottle of $2,000 Mouton Rothschild by accident, served it to them, and they believed they were drinking the $18 Pinot Noir. Now, what happened was the waiter poured the 2 wines into identical decanters, but the pricey one was mistakenly taken to the couple's table who ordered the $18 Pinot Noir, but it was supposed to go to some Wall Street bigwigs who ordered the most expensive bottle of wine on the menu. Now, the funny thing is about these Wall Street bigwigs, according to this article, they had no idea that they were drinking the $18 Pinot Noir. And they were going crazy that this was the best wine they ever drank. The owner of the restaurant said the young couple was ecstatic by the restaurant's mistake and told me it was like the bank making an error in their favor. The trouble was, it was me who was down to $2,000, not the bank, unfortunately. In fact, the restaurant's night manager said the host of the business meeting actually praised, I'm reading it, praised the purity of the cheapest wine on the list. And they thought, until they were told about the mistake, they thought they were drinking really good wine. Isn't that funny?
So does the server still have his job or not?
That was not in the article. I hope that the owner did not take that out of his salary or his tips. Have you ever had that mistake? Like something like that where you're like, wow, I just got something for like tons of money that I shouldn't have. Never happened to me.
Oh.
Never happened to me.
Not that I can think of right now.
Never happened. Like you bought a coach ticket and they gave you business class by mistake. Never happened to me.
Nope.
Nope, never happened to me. Like I ordered a burger and they brought like a nice juicy filet mignon.
Oh.
No, never happened to me at all.
Not a thing.
Can't
relate.
I don't relate to any of this article at all.
I don't know.
That doesn't. My luck never happens in restaurants like that.
I just want to be that young couple with that mistaken wine, though.
Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.